Hey, welcome back to the Sacred CEO Micro Pod. This is a podcast dedicated to leaders who have been gifted with ADHD. Do you know that everything you feel or what you feel isn't always what is real? I find this interesting in a lot of leaders that we operate a lot on emotion. Well, not just leaders. This is a human condition. This is a human problem. Our emotions tell us what to feel rather than us telling our emotions what to feel. But there is a statement that says whoever rules their emotion rules the world. This is very, very true for leaders. I think you're going to enjoy this content. Let's fire it up. Psychologists have discovered that feelings and emotions are not really a response to a crisis or a response to a situation. It's really the prediction of a situation or the prediction of a crisis. And what that means is that when something is going on around us that would fire up or would stir up our emotions, that our brain doesn't have the capacity to actually know what's going on fully, to have all the information that it needs to process fully. And so the amygdala part of our brain begins to process the emotions in a hypersensitive way because our brain is predicting that something's coming, that something is happening. And so what they have found is that feelings are not always a response to, but a prediction of that crisis, that thing that is causing our emotions to rise up. I'll give you an illustration. Take for a moment, just close your eyes for a moment. Wherever you're sitting, I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to imagine you're walking in a dark parking lot. You can barely see your hand in front of your face. Your eyes are closed, you're walking in this dark parking lot, you barely can see your hand in front of your face, you're already somewhat unnerved. Now imagine you're hearing footsteps coming up behind you. What are you feeling right now in this moment? I know the answer. You're feeling terror. You're feeling fright. You're feeling that you're scared out of your mind. Something is happening. Someone is coming. Danger is imminent. What's happening right now in this moment is that your brain is predicting all of these things. And so what's happening is because your brain doesn't actually know what's coming up behind you, it's predicting what's coming up behind you. And so it's going to send three signals to either fight, I got to turn around and whoop some ass, to flight, I got to run, I got to get out of here. And for some people, it's freeze. I'm going to freeze up. I'm just going into shock. I'm going to freeze. But the brain is sending the signal. It's predicting danger. Now, I want you to go back to that same scene. Close your eyes, dark, can barely see your hand in front of your face. In this parking lot, these footsteps are coming behind you. You turn around and you find out it's your best friend. Now, what are you feeling? You're feeling joy. You're feeling comfort. You're feeling relief. The very first thing that you experienced, what you were feeling, wasn't the real feeling. It was a predicted feeling. It wasn't until you turned around and you realized what was coming up behind you, that it wasn't real danger, that it was actually an ally. It was actually a friend. It was somebody that you loved. That, when you started to feel that joy and that comfort and that relief, that was the real emotion. And so what does that tell us? That tells us that it is impossible to regulate our emotions outside of truth. It is impossible to regulate our feelings outside of having all the information that we need. It wasn't until you turned around and you were able to really comprehend, get all the information that you needed, that you could properly process and regulate your emotion. I want you to evaluate as a leader how many times you allow your emotions to spin out of control in a situation at work, at home, with your family, with your kids, with your spouse, with your coworkers, with your executives, whatever the scenario is for you. How many times are you allowing the emotion to dictate what you feel and what you do, how you behave and how you act, versus you gathering all the information and waiting before you act until you have that information so you can regulate your emotions, tell your emotions what to feel, and move forward properly and in a more effective, exponential way. Here's the deal. I said it in the beginning. Those who rule their emotions rule the world. This is a very, very difficult place for people to really come to. It's a really difficult skill set for people to develop. But it is something that every one of us can develop, and certainly every leader should be concerned with this. You don't want to be spinning out of control emotionally. So when you feel those emotions rising up in you, understand that what you're feeling in that moment may not actually be real. Your brain may be predicting something is coming. There is some sort of crisis. The whole deal is going to fall apart. My top guy or my top lady is going to leave the company. It may be predicting something, but it doesn't know. Now, if you don't take time to pause, to interrupt that feeling and really get all the information before you respond, you're going to actually be reacting, not responding. You're going to be going off. You're going to sort of, proverbially, the train is going to come off the track emotionally because you don't have what you need to regulate that emotion. Leaders need to develop this skill set because nobody wants to follow an out-of-control leader. Nobody is going to be loyal to or want to follow a leader who is always operating in irregulated emotions. If you want to raise your level of impact, you want to raise your level of influence, you want to have a confident organization of people that trust you, who are following you and will go to hell and back and charge hell with a squirt gun with you, you need to make sure you're operating in this skill set of controlling your feelings and emotions, making sure that what you feel is actually real and it's a real response to the thing that's happening around you.